I am not a perfectionist. In no way am I a perfectionist, but I do like to make specific plans for special occasions, and I like to know what's going on in my day, my week, my month. Now, I don't like surprises, but I am an animal lover, and I have multiple pets in my household. In fact, since the age of 12, I have had an unbroken line of pets, one knowing the next one, knowing the next one, knowing the next one. And because I like to put things in order, I call this the apostolic succession of pets. I've had a lot of pets. Now, you may think, why is this person who likes to put things in order having pets? Well, those two don't really go together, do they? I mean, if you have a pet, you know that a lot of the time you're flying by the seat of your pants, aren't you? You never know what they're going to do. And it's hard to reconcile those two parts of my personality. But luckily, I found a wonderful guru named Tom Petty. Tom Petty has this mantra that I have taken as my own. He said, most things I worry about never happen anyway. Now, I thought that I worry too much, so I need to take that mantra to myself. And I thought, but I can take it a step further because I'm Barb. So I'll take it a step further. When I worry about things, and I know I shouldn't, I will take that to the nth degree and figure out what I could do to make that not happen. Should something accidentally happen, you've done it, haven't you? And then I'll be ready for anything. But I know it'll never happen, but if it does, I will be ready. I'll be there. So let me take you to a time in my life when I was single, and I had my own house, and I had 4 ex-racing greyhounds, which are better known as 40-mile-an-hour couch potatoes. I had adopted them separately, but I ended up with 4, and I had 4 cats. Now, the cats came to me through the universal cat distribution system. You know how this works, don't you? Yeah. You don't know you need a cat, but the system knows you need a cat. So a cat comes to you, and that's how I got all of them, especially the last one in the group at my house at that time. His name was Buddy. I'd been working in the backyard one day, and I heard something at the corner of the yard. Now, I had a secluded yard. It had a 6-foot privacy fence all the way around it, and things just didn't come in my yard. But I heard something. I looked back. There was this soft gray cat sitting at the back of the yard. And I said, hey, little buddy, what are you doing? And he ran right up to me and started rubbing on my legs. And he obviously had a plan that I wasn't aware of at the time. Buddy had it in his mind, and maybe he'd been watching me, maybe I'd been being surveilled, but he obviously had decided he was going to be my cat. He'd probably seen the dogs out in the yard, and he wanted to be part of my household. Now, I'm kind of stupid because it took me 2 weeks to realize that. He showed up every morning. He was there at noon when I came home to let the dogs out. He was there in the evening when I came home. On the second day, I started feeding him. Is that a mistake? He ate the food. He got along with the dogs. I let them out one by one. They would live with cats. They were the best of friends. And after 2 weeks, and I even checked with the neighbors to see if he belonged to anybody, I was doing my due diligence, he came and showed up with a cut on his leg. And it was pretty bad. And I didn't feel I could handle it, so I took him to the vet. And as I paid the bill happily, I put him in the crate to take home. I decided he would become an inside cat. Now, he was perfectly happy. He looked at me as if to say, that's what I had in mind all along. What took you so long? So Buddy became my solid, soft gray inside cat. He became the Joel Grey of my cabaret, only without the evil part, okay? But he greeted everyone who came through the door. He played with the cats. He slept with the dogs. He just enjoyed everything. He never tried to get out again. And all of us were happy. Now, on the night of this particular adventure, I'd come home from work. I always located all the animals because cats have a tendency to hide. I had let the dogs out and let them back in. It was about this time of year, so it got dark out, about 7 o'clock. Just pretty darn dark. But it was nice out, like the weather we've been having. So when the dogs wanted out a little after 7, I decided to go out with them. I opened the door wide and let the dogs all out. Now, my backyard had one tree and a brush pile I was working on. So I decided, this is a beautiful evening. I'm going to sit here and enjoy this with the animals. Darkness was falling. I'd flipped on the patio light, but it didn't extend too far into the yard. All of a sudden, I saw one of the greyhounds, alert to the brush pile. It ran over and started wagging its tail. The other three spotted it and ran over and started circling the brush pile and wagging its tail. And I thought, what on earth is going on here? So I got up from my chair. I started to walk over to the brush pile, and out of that pile, a dark shape flew clear to the tree and climbed that tree. Now, I'd had a drink or two. But I did realize quickly that it wasn't a squirrel because squirrels weren't out. It wasn't a bunny rabbit because bunny rabbits don't climb trees. It must be a cat. And I thought, what the heck is going on? So I ran quickly to the tree to make sure it was all right, keeping an eye on the dogs the whole time because I didn't want them to trample each other. I knew they liked cats, but this wasn't their cat, right? So I ran to the tree, and about that time, the cat fell out of the tree with a plop and ran to the fence and tried to get over the fence. And I ran to the fence ahead of the dogs. I grabbed the cat, looking at the dogs, and dropped the cat on the other side of the fence. Crisis averted. So I started to gather myself up and go back in the house when I heard something by the fence. I looked over, and there were these two paws clinging to the top of the fence. And I thought, what is going on? So I ran over to the fence again ahead of the dogs, and I grabbed those two paws and gently pushed them over the back of the fence. And I turned to go back inside again thinking, oh, I am so good, I averted this situation entirely. About that time, I heard something again. I looked over, and Kilroy was coming over the top of the fence. 2 ears, 2 paws in the darkness, and I couldn't believe it. I thought, how dumb is this feline? What is wrong with this cat? So I ran to the fence again. The dogs were following me. And just as I got to the fence, I stared at that cat. And the eyes that stared at me were genuinely pissed. If looks could kill, I would be dead right now. That was Buddy the cat. He had gotten out somehow during that first time when I let the dogs out. He'd been roaming around the backyard. And now I had tried to put him out of my yard, and he'd been trying his whole life to get in my yard. So I was apologizing to him, and he never broke his stare on me. It was just daggers coming at me. I picked him up off the top of the fence, and as I tucked him under my arm, and I think the dogs knew it was Buddy, I tucked him under my arm and went to the house. He peed all over me. Cats have a way of showing their disdain. The evening ended just fine. I mean, we got him in, we got cleaned up, I got cleaned up, everybody was asleep later on, and the whole thing ended so well. And I think about that now. That was several years ago. All of the main characters in this story have passed on. I know. But Buddy is buried at our house, right by the bird bath, and the dog's ashes are scattered at our house. And sometimes, with this apostolic succession of pets that I have in my mind, I like to sit there with my beer, and I think, when I die, I want all of my pets there. They're just there saying, what a wonderful person you were, Barb. You took such good care of us. We love you so much, and we know you love us, and I'm basking in the glory of that. And then all of a sudden from the back, one little gray paw goes up and says, let me tell you the story. Thank you.